In quite literally every sense, the LEELA Palace is a palace, and for a fee, you too can be your own little brand of royalty for a day. Hi there, my name is Kevin. This channel came from a love of traveling, a love of the full process and the journey itself. I feature airline trip reports and high-end hotel reviews from all over the world. My reviews aren't sponsored by airlines or hotels, so you can be sure to get my unbiased opinion. Am I an expert? You can decide. Am I fair? Yeah, I am. Let's get into it. Welcome to Bengaluru. If you'd like to know the exact rate that I paid for my stay, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. While I can't say for sure that all LEELA properties have quite the same gravitas as this one does, let me just tell you, pulling up to this lobby after driving through the covered security area was pretty surreal. The scale, grandeur, and detail of this property are really kinda hard to take in. It's honestly kind of impossible to look in one direction without seeing like 12 different things that you want to check out up close. Relatively speaking, Bengaluru is an easy city to navigate, and while the LEELA is very close to an airport, it's not the active airport, so getting there is a solid hour's drive. Since the hotel is a destination unto itself though, I don't really see anything wrong with the location, which is a bit outside of the central business district. Once you step inside the guest reception area, grandeur is traded for a more intimate feel in the space, which is full of fresh flowers, gleaming chandeliers, classically elegant furniture, and luxurious textiles which define a large portion of the property. While the LEELA Hotel Group's 12 current properties are now owned by a very exciting asset management company, their beginnings are rooted in a desire to give India a hotel that could compete with the likes of the Savoy, the Waldorf Astoria, and the like. In 1987, Captain C.P. Krishnan Nair opened the first LEELA in Mumbai, with this hotel in Bengaluru being the second opened. Nair came from very humble beginnings, and after a time in the military, worked with the All India Handloom Board, what we'd call a lobbying firm in the present day, which marketed Indian yarn and textiles to the US. It was on these business trips where Nair fell in love with classically elegant hotels. In 1958, he founded a new textile company in cooperation with Brooks Brothers, selling his fabrics to many well-known designers, and also began a lace-weaving company. The LEELA Hotels and Palaces, named after Nair's wife, LEELA, inherited his legacy of textiles, and their utilization throughout the hotel is really one of the key defining features. As someone who comes from, let's say, a family that very much appreciates textiles and fabrics, this place was near overwhelming in the best of ways. But who is it for? Honestly, it is a true all-around mix, and despite the upmarket feel of the property, there isn't a drop of pretension. It is very much a come as you are and sit in a palace kind of place. The outdoor spaces, lounges, and gardens really are the unexpected treasure of the property though. I'm not saying hotel photos lie, even though a lot of times they do, but if you show me a picture of a garden or a lounge or a pool, I can imagine 30 different angles that it may have been taken from to make a very small space look massive. Not here. Here, what you see and what is advertised is very much what you get. Heading over to the pool area now, which is just as beautiful after dark as it is during the day. This LEELA was opened in 2001 and was inspired by a palace in the same state and architecture of the 13th century Vijayanagara Empire, incorporating 7 acres of gardens into its design, to ensure the privacy of its guests. Let's head up to my room. Having booked with Amex Fine Hotels and Resorts, not a sponsor, I was upgraded to a royal club room at check-in. From the lobby, we head upstairs to the 5th floor, which houses all of the club-level rooms. Now, as with any hotel design, surely the LEELA Palace isn't for everyone, but it fits a very specific niche that I love. A hotel that knows how to edit itself. As grand and over-the-top as it is, it never feels too much. A substantial part of the details that make it so unique are subtle, relatively speaking of course, and will only be there for those with an eye for detail. Personally, I enjoy experiencing a new property and knowing for a fact that I'm the only one that saw it exactly as I did. Of all the rooms that I've documented on this channel, this is the room in the classically elegant category that is at the top of my list. You are wanting for nothing. Comfort and function are equally prioritized, and the finishing details are on another level. If you're new to the channel, allow me a moment to just let you know that this video is not sponsored by LEELA or any associated company. They have no idea who I am and didn't know that I was making a video, which to me is the essence of a true unbiased review. If you support content like this, please be sure to subscribe to help the channel grow. My Patreon is also linked in the description below. A big thanks in advance just for stopping by. Between the transforming luggage bench, which I do love, and double closets, storage is not in short supply. Very much loved the minibar, which came with a wide assortment of teas, single-serve pour-over coffee sachets, which were really good, and a total of 10 bottles of water throughout the room. Behind the double doors is a bathroom that perhaps has a standard oversized layout, but there's really not much else that's standard in here. LEELA has their own brand of toiletries named Tishia. If these don't make my favorites video for 2023, well then that means that I had a pretty incredible year. The admittedly intensely fragranced products are made with Kumud and Nilgiri. Kumud is water lily, and while beautiful, that's not really why it's special. Nilgiri is the other half of the fragrance, which is a wildflower native to southern India which blooms once every 12 years. The scents are absolutely intoxicating, and really is the smell that my mind now directly associates with Indian luxury. The weak spot of the room and the hotel itself is the experience on the balcony. In an otherwise immaculately crafted and maintained facility, the balconies and the facade itself on this interior portion, they just feel like they've been forgotten about and feel dated. While the pink facade is a signature of the property, the dusty hues do nothing for the building on smoggy days. If I were to come back, which I certainly would, I would specifically request a room on the second or third floor, which would be at or below the tree level of the gardens. Let's head to the Club Lounge. Set as a comfortable living room, the Club Lounge offers afternoon tea service and evening cocktails for guests staying in the club level rooms. While the tea sandwiches were delicious and the service impeccable, I personally wouldn't pay extra to have access. Let's head down to explore the gardens in the main courtyard. The LEELA Palace Bengaluru recently made the Condé Nast Gold List for 2023, which was announced the week after I was here. Between the recognition that some individual properties in India are getting, along with global praise for Oberoi and Taj brands, I think India is nearing what will be their golden age of tourism, when the entire world really does begin to see what Indian hospitality is. With my job and the number of properties in India, it's a very exciting prospect. LEELA says of themselves, quote, "The LEELA's goal is to provide the most demanding guests with memorable, magical stays that deliver the essence of India and allow them to discover a true Indian luxury experience found only in India." Unquote. I really couldn't agree with this more. Alright, let's do a quick explore of the venues on site. First up we have the library bar, which has a beautiful rich indoor setting which extends out to the outdoor courtyard that we saw earlier. For club level guests, a beautiful bar is set up in the early evenings. LEELA does do something that I don't love, which is not publishing prices on their online menus. So rather than posting them for each restaurant, you can visit this website to see all of the menus with current prices. This website certainly may change in the future, which I cannot control, but for right now, it is accessible via any mobile device. There is a Japanese restaurant on site named Zen. And then we have Le Cirque, which serves up French and Italian fare. And finally, we have Jamovar, the LEELA's signature Indian restaurant, where I had what was certainly my best meal in India, and probably in the top 5 of meals that I can remember in general. The attention to detail here, it's really hard to explain. It was pristine. The service, also, don't know how to explain it. It was as if I was being led through a story from the moment that I sat down until I signed the bill. But I wouldn't say it was high touch. It's just a very specific kind of confident and natural service, which is fulfilling to experience. Similar to the restaurant service that I had at the Raffles Jakarta, if you saw that video. I will admit though, I do have a lifelong chronic problem when ordering Indian food though. I always order too much, because there's just too many things that I want to try. I started off with masala chas, which is buttermilk with roasted cumin and fresh cilantro. For starters, I had palak benazir, which are spinach and roasted corn patties, served with roasted tomato chutney, as well as paneer tikka badshahi, which is tandoor baked paneer that has been marinated in spiced yogurt. For the main course, I went with chicken chettinad. My server was a little bit amused that I ordered a southern Indian dish with a northern Indian bread, but hey, what's life if you don't go a little crazy sometimes? Finally, for dessert, because I thought it would be necessary, I went with Kesar Pista Kulfi, which is more or less saffron and pistachio ice cream with a rose-scented sauce. The last venue that we're going to check out is for breakfast at Citrus. I score properties just before I start putting together the video. You saw the score already, a 98. Can't get much better. But as I was putting together the video, I was considering just making it 100, because the place is just that spectacular. I can forgive the balcony and the facade issues that I mentioned. The reason that I kept it at a 98 is because of breakfast. I need to score relative to competition. And fact of the matter is, in Bengaluru, the Oberoi's breakfast is significantly better than here at the LEELA. On its own, the breakfast here is fantastic, a really solid offering, but I just think it's lacking the refinement that I saw at Oberoi. And so, here we are. This is and was a fantastic property, and truly, it is a palace. The service is near flawless. The interiors and exteriors alike are designed and maintained like no other, and at least dinner was some of the best food and service that I've had. Clearly, I'd recommend adding this one to your own personal gold list for 2023. As always, I really do hope that you enjoyed this video today. If you did, Please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss my next video, which will be aboard a fantastic new airline named Akasa Air from Bengaluru to Chennai.